so much for coming by today. Today's episode, I'm going to show you how I mix my corn and cassava dough. The process is very simple, and I'm going to show you the ingredients you need. If you are interested, please stay tuned and please keep watching as I show you how. May God richly bless you. Until next time, remember that life without Jesus Christ is lifeless. Please keep watching. This corn flour is called Indian head. Stone ground white corn flour. Make sure the corn flour is white, okay? And I bought about 3 packs. So I'm using the Indian head corn flour this time. Also for the cassava dough, in Ghana we call this cassava. In America you will find it as yuca. Y-U-C-A, yuca. You can find it in most grocery stores, especially Walmart. So what I've simply done is to take the skin off, and I'm going to show you the process. Take the skin off and then cut it into smaller pieces so I can blend it whenever I'm ready to use, okay? I'm going to show you an example of what I've done with an already mixed corn dough and cassava dough as well. So I had this about months now, maybe 2-3 months. Whenever I'm ready to use it, I just take it out of the freezer, take as much as I want, and then put it back in the freezer. And this here is a blended cassava dough. And like the corn dough, I take it out of the freezer. You can store it in the freezer as long as you want. Whenever you're ready to use it, you just take it out, take as much as you want, and then store it right back inside the freezer. So please keep watching as I start showing you how to go about it. It's very simple. First, let's start with mixing our corn dough, and then move on to making the cassava dough. Please keep watching. So there is a particular consistency that you want. You don't want it to be extremely watery. At the same time too, you don't want it to be too tough. At least you want it to be in between, okay? Whilst you are mixing it, if you feel like it's not completely mixed and you need to add a little bit more water, please do not be afraid. Add as much water as possible. I'm making a really large quantity of this corn dough. That is why it seems like I keep mixing and mixing and mixing it, but I want to make sure that it's completely mixed. You can use your hand if you want, because when we finish mixing this corn dough, we are going to leave it out. We are just going to cover it and let it sit out for about 2-3 days for the corn dough to ferment. You cannot make benkun or kenke with a corn dough, a fresh corn dough like this. So if you are planning on making benkun or kenke, make sure you mix your corn days ahead. Let it allow it to ferment. Okay. All right. If you can see very well, at least I'm able to hold the corn dough if I want, right? That is what you want. The consistency should be something like this. It's mixed completely, yet I'm able to hold it into a ball if I want. So this is what you want. You want your corn dough to be like that. Typically in Ghana, when we finish it, we kind of press it like this and then cover it and allow it to ferment. You can let it ferment for about 3 days or 4 days. It's gonna smell a bit funny when it's fermented, but don't worry about it. It's all part of the process. So when it's ready, you just put it in a zip locker. That's what I do. As you can see it here, I just store it in a zip locker and then in the freezer. Put it in the freezer as long as you want. This large quantity here will last me for a very long time. You can even store it in there for about 1 year and it's still not going to get spoiled. Okay, you're good to go. So now we are done with the making of the corn dough. Now let's move on to making the cassava dough. I'm going to show you how I take off the skin on the yuca and then start cutting it into pieces. I might not blend it, but like I said, whenever you're ready to use it, you can just put it in your blender and blend it. So I'm going to show you how I prepare the yuca by taking off the skin and then cutting it into pieces like I showed you in my previous video. Okay, and like I said, I might blend it to show you the amount of water you will need to get to this consistency. You want it to look something like this. Okay, so please let's go ahead and let me show you how I do it. Please keep watching. Now, when you divide the yuca into two, there is a stem in the middle of the yuca. I don't know whether you can see it. Make sure that you take it out, okay? You have to take it out before you proceed with the cutting. That's the process. I hope this video was helpful to you. Should you have any questions, please leave them down below for me, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So when you finish cutting everything, all you have to do is to simply soak everything in water. I have my water here and I'm just going to soak it in there. Wash it very thoroughly. Put it in your blender and start blending it. I was thinking whether I should skip that process, but I think it will be useful if I show you the consistency it should be with the cassava dough. So I'm going to finish everything, and then when I'm ready to blend it, I'll show you the blending process. So I wanted to show you how I blend my cassava dough. You saw me soaked it in water, and now I'm ready to blend it. You don't want your consistency to be too watery. You want it to be pasty. So this is how I go about it. So just simply add water, not too much water, but enough to blend it to a pasty consistency. Let's go ahead and blend it. So now we can go ahead and pour it into our zip locker. I'm just going to show you what I was talking about. So this is what we are looking for. See, I can even scoop it with a scooping spoon. This is what you are looking for. Don't make it too watery. Something like this is good, okay? All right. Please keep watching as I transfer it to the zip locker. So this is it. Our cassava dough mixture. Should you have any questions, please leave them down below for me and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Once again, I want to thank you so much for staying tuned and watching. May God richly bless you. And remember that life without Jesus Christ is lifeless. I love you so much with the precious love of God. Till next time, bye-bye. This is the fermented dough. As you saw me transferring it to this zip locker, I left it out for about 3 days and it's well fermented. So now I'm going to just store it in the freezer and use it whenever needed.